Hello, everybody. Welcome to PoliTarology. I'm back from my little teeny tiny vacation from YouTube, and I'm so happy to be back. And I'm joined by Shari and Cleo and Val. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Gerald cannot be here, and I know I posted today saying Mel was going to join us. He intended to, but he was just still recovering from his getting back from his trip to Africa. And I understand that. I was surprised that he ever said that he would do the show, but we needed somebody. So, I went along with it. So anyway, it's just us ladies tonight. And we're going to go around and let everybody say hello and tell you what's going on their channels. And I'm going to turn on the comments, and I'm going to have Shari go first because she's actually going to be helping me tonight looking at the comments a little bit. Okay. So Shari, take it away. I'll look at the way you talk.
Okay. I've got tomorrow. I don't know what I have. Tomorrow night is my night owl slumber party, 11 p.m. Central. Sunday is I'm meeting up with Sun Psychic Jean. And then at 4:30, that's at 2 o'clock. And then at 4:30 Central, I'm doing the monthly show with Amy, Princess Warrior. We do a monthly mystery where we look at some strange incident that happened somewhere and then throw cards on it, see if we can figure out what happened. And that's what we do. And then next week, because I haven't got that far. So...
Oh, that's great. And just so that we know that, we really have to let Mel off the hook. Here's Bratu's comment. She got back from Africa 2 weeks ago and she's still recovering.
Oh, yeah.
I hear you. I would be too. I should have just known that it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Val, what's going on with you?
Oh, on my channel tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I am going to be with Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot. So bring your questions. So we'll see you there.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh my God. I think I don't think this is fireworks. I think I'm getting horrible thunder.
Uh-oh.
It's shaking my house. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
In my world.
Well, it's 86 degrees out, so we might have heat lightning or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those times where it really literally sounds like God's bowling, really does. Okay.
Is it an earthquake?
No, nothing's moving. It's the air around us. It's the thunder. It's just thunder.
Okay.
All right. What's going on for you, Cleo?
Well, on Sunday, I'm having my very first live on my channel with Colleen the Cool Crone. Colleen and I are going to get together. We're going to be talking about politics, and I get a chance to just spew all the stuff that's been building up in me. and Colleen gets to tone me down and maybe throw in some astrology to help me see where we're going with it. And anyway, looking forward to that. Then on Monday, I'm doing a Mystic Four. So, and maybe on Thursday, I'm doing a kitchen table issues with Marina and Colleen. And Friday after that, then we're doing a week from today, we're doing the Cool Crone Oracle. So there you have it.
There you have it, folks. Okay, we'll see you next time. No. All right. So we're all busy chicks and we're all trying to do a million things. And I got to say, my little vacay was delightful. I did not realize quite how burnt out I really was. I tried in the 2 weeks to do some kind of stuff, some astrology videos. It was like going to the dentist. I could not.
You hold down a whole regular job and do this. I don't know how you do that.
Well, apparently I don't. Apparently I don't do it anymore. But I did manage to get a new moon.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Well, she said there was some weird energy going around her house.
New moon. The new moon just started, everyone. So this might be some of it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
all right, she'll be back with luck.
seem like a very long vacation. I think if I go on YouTube vacation, I'm going to go for a whole month.
Wow. Well, I mean, just the last couple of weeks have been a little bit slower for me, and I've just loved it. I needed that time as well.
You needed the downtime. You know, you don't realize it till you take it.
And you don't realize you've been doing the same kind of schedule for like a year or so. And so, you know, it kind of catches up to you.
It really does catch up to you. And yeah, you just don't realize it. But so there's a little bit of stuff going on in politics.
There's a little bit of stuff going on. Well, let's see. We had a debate. The Supreme Court screwed us. Donald Trump has been proven to be the liar we always knew he was and is, and the con man, and the traitor, and the rapist, and the criminal, all the felon. He's a felon. Let's see what else was going on there. God, there's just so much stuff. It's hard to
there's so much. It's like,
well, you know, and
SCOTUS, you know, that ridiculous immunity finding, or
and they're already trying to do something about that, but it doesn't look very promising. But here's what I can tell you is that once Biden is in, and once we have a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate, things are going to really change. And I know that doesn't happen until next year, but I see a couple of judges from the Supreme Court are going to be impeached, as well as. Oh, go ahead, Val. Go ahead.
I didn't realize that they would take it that far. I thought they'd secretly say, "Now you better step down." But you see them getting impeached.
I see them getting impeached, but I also see them having that conversation that says that we can avoid this if you want to step down.
But they're so arrogant, they probably think they don't have to step down, that no one is going to impeach them, right? And so
that's what they think.
Yeah,
but you know, the guy that had the flag flying upside down and is obviously a supporter of Trump a supporter of the insurrection and a supporter that the 2020 election was rigged. You cannot have a justice on the Supreme Court that thinks like that.
No, absolutely not.
The Clarence Thomas thing about accepting gifts and stuff, they're gonna look into that. And plus, isn't there going to be 2 more seats either added to it or anyway?
I think there are, because it can go up to 13, and I think there are going to be 2 more seats, just besides those who leave and get replaced, 2 additional. Yeah.
And Biden will be in on that.
You know, it started out, we had a justice for every district court. We now have 13 district courts. We need to have 13 justices.
Yeah.
That's the way it was designed. So we need to honor that.
Yes, exactly.
And follow that through.
And it will,
in my personal opinion.
I agree with your personal opinion. I think you have a good opinion.
So, but the biggest thing right now is, let's get it clear about what's going on with Biden. Biden has told us that he made, that he goofed, that he screwed. He said basically he screwed up, and he had a bad debate. He's aware of that. He's admitted it. He went to his family and he said to them, "Do you think, am I doing something wrong? Am I failing? Am I, do I have some cognitive things going on?" They didn't think he did. He also went to a doctor. The doctor didn't think he did.
Yeah.
So he is in the running, and he's here to stay, and he has said he's not dropping out. I see that happening, that he will not drop out. However, I also see that if he decides to drop out, that you don't bring in somebody brand new. You don't bring in Newsom from California or some governor up in Timbuktu. You bring in Kamala Harris.
You don't go to the vice president who's been in there listening to all the situations going on and is up to speed with everything. Absolutely. I agree with you, Cleo.
Well, Kamala Harris will do everything that Biden has already done. But let's talk more about what Biden has done.
Yeah.
Biden has been the best president since of all presidents. I mean, he has made so many big changes.
What he inherited, what he was able to accomplish.
Yeah, what he has accomplished, yes, is just amazing. And so you cannot compare a 90-minute debate to 3.5 years of doing the best work we've ever seen a president do. I mean, everything from he's going to, he's bringing prescription costs down. He's making it more affordable for insulin and all that. The stock market has gone way high and on Biden's watch. He has unemployment has come down the lowest it's been since 1960 or the 60s. The average hourly wage has risen by 4% from last year. I mean, that's huge. That's just massive.
Huge. That is huge. I love that.
I've got some of this stuff written down, which, by the way, for anybody listening here, I have taken this information from
Linda G's
channel. And if you go to her community page, she has this posted of, I think it's like 36 things that she's just listed. And it's just amazing. But that's where I'm getting my information from right now. But I've also seen this as well on the internet.
Yeah.
Yep.
He passed the infrastructure bill. He passed the American Rescue Plan. He passed the COVID relief bill. He passed the Chips and Science Act. He passed the gun reform. He passed PACT Act for veterans. He passed the Respect for Marriage Act. All of these things that Biden has done are so positive, helping us all. And in 2025, things will just look fantastic on Biden's watch. What has Trump done? Zero.
I mean, -0. Not just zero, -0. He took away. He detracted and made it.
Shari, give me a minute to get my camera and stuff set up and then bring me back in. Thank you.
Okay,
I just want to thank Lisa for the donation. And, I just threw some cards on her question. Abigail Spanberger, a Dem who's in the race for governor in Virginia. And it's a pretty firm yes. She is going to stand firm. Here she is. She's got help from the Democratic Party. Here she is. And she is going to have to, carry a load to do this. But here she is, all sunshiny and rainbow. So if you guys have a second to pull on that would be great.
Where are we pulling on?
It's Lisa.
I was dealing with chat.
Yeah, it's a super chat. And she is saying, if you are taking political questions, will Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat, win her race for governor in Virginia? Yeah, there it is.
Okay. Personally, I don't know anything about this, but go ahead, Shari.
Oh yeah, Shari, I already.
Well, I pulled a 9 of Swords just off the top. I only shuffled them like once or twice. And so, you're looking at, it's not going to be easy.
She's going to have
There's
to
going to be some battle. Yeah, she's going to have to fight for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if let me see what else I can get. Hang on. Is it Virginia or Vermont that has a rule that they can't really have a felon on the ballot? So Trump might not make it on that ballot. I can't remember which.
There are several states that have that in their state constitution,
and they're having trouble trying to put Trump on their ballot.
I thought it was Rhode Island too. Vermont, I think is
Vermont. Rhode Island. Is Vermont Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it is Vermont.
Okay, well, I started out with the 9 of Swords, so she's going to have to work for it.
Yeah, she's going to have
to
work.
Then I got the Ace of Wands.
Yeah.
So that's saying a new start, something fresh starting out. Ended with the Sun.
Yeah, I get her having
So-
to persevere and work at it, but you know, she'll have some stuff thrown at her, but she'll do it. So,
Right. She's gonna have to deal with the misogyny, especially coming at her.
Well, do they currently have a Democratic governor or a Republican governor?
they must not. She says, yeah, yay, she will be the first female and first Jewish governor in Virginia. She's amazing. I met her once and she is awesome. She,
Awesome.
yeah, as a rep, was at the Capitol on January 6th as a rep, a Dem.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Sounds good. I don't know anything about it, but I'm if it's Democrat, I'm all for it.
yeah,
You know, that's what's really important here, you know. And somebody asked about when is the media going to start covering Trump and the Epstein bombshell? You know, who cares? Who gives a shit about Trump and Epstein? I don't. What I care about is that Trump is a felon. Trump is a rapist. Trump is a liar. Trump is a fraudster. Trump has tried to screw over New York State. Trump has tried to steal an election. Trump has tried to overturn the government. These are what's important. Whatever he did with Epstein, you know, I don't know, chalk that up with Stormy Daniels, which is another thing he's trying to get out of, which is ridiculous. Had nothing to do with, it was state. It didn't have to do with federal. It didn't have to do with him being president. And he is just looking around like he is winning everything because the Supreme Court illogically and possibly illegally turned a law that never existed before and said he's got blanket immunity. You know, at first I thought they were saying that he has some part of immunity, which would make sense. Any high official, I mean, your attorney generals, your prosecutors, all those people have a certain amount of immunity. But no, the Supreme Court went a little bit beyond that, and they will be, they're going to get some, people are going to fight that. But, you know, it won't change this year, I don't think. But, you know, next year it will. But in the meantime, Trump is looking around like, I got this. He thinks he's got this. We have got to show him, not only does he not have it, but the Democrats have it all the way around in the Senate, the House, and the president. So I just, if anybody is looking around like, well, what if Biden steps down or does, he's not going to. He's going to stay there. But he's also, if he does step down, don't sweat it, because Kamala Harris will step in. There's no outside person that's going to suddenly become the Democratic nominee for president.
He's already said he won't step down, and you can trust his word. He says he's not stepping down.
No, he's not stepping down.
Yeah, Brato said that
Yeah.
the Stormy Daniels thing can't be considered a presidential act. No, it wasn't. It was before he became president. He got popped for the cover up, not because he went and screwed a porn star.
Right.
Nobody gives a damn. He
No.
got in trouble because he did a cover up, and they did fraud to cover it up. And it was something that he hid from the American people for the election.
Who would have had a different, possibly voted for Hillary instead of him, which they did anyway. She won the popular vote. We got to get rid of that, the electoral college, and throw it out.
Yeah, that needs to go.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Can you guys hear me? Or am I really low?
You're garbled a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Well, and no, we couldn't at first. I knew that you were talking earlier and we couldn't, but now we can.
Okay. I have internet in and out on my regular computer, so I'm going to stay on this. And I just want to bring up the questions because the thing with Stormy Daniels that's already been decided, that was breaking campaign finance laws.
Yeah.
So that wasn't anything to do with national security or being a president or
even anything really, just finance laws. And he wasn't so yeah, absolutely, he is not immune from those charges.
Mhm.
But
they put enough questions up to where the judge now has pushed that sentencing out until September. I see that as this judge, again, he has done everything he can to dot every I, cross every T, to make sure it can't come back on him in the end when, when things come down. I would just love it if, I saw in July that he was probably going to get a slap on the wrist. If this is being pushed out till September, we'll see what happens between now and then. But I see this judge rethinking the whole process. So he needs time. And, they can go ahead and say whatever they want about this immunity thing. It's not going to help any in this case. Those convictions will stand. He still is a felon with 34 convictions, felony convictions. So,
and I hope Judge Marchand stands by what he fully believes that he should be, that he should serve or be sentenced at, because even if he has to spend 3 weeks in jail, whatever, he's done enough to irritate the court and to hurt other people that was against court orders, to show his even lack of regard for the judicial process and disrespect for the whole court system. And he should be, he should face.
yeah, I mean, the thing that Judge Marchand is straddling is that, yeah, the charges that were found will stand. What's happened, though, is that the laws have changed around him at the very delicate point in time where he's trying to bring down a sentence. But not only that, he's cognizant of the fact that this is a presidential candidate. And there has been a long-standing agreement that you don't interfere with the person who's trying to run for president. If they got that far, then you should give them a little grace and let them go through. I think he'll still get a sentence from Judge Marchand. But the interesting thing, too, at this point in time is that Judge Chutkan now has to invent a process to be able to look at the charges and decide what was an official act and what wasn't. And these two things are happening in the same time frame, because that, I believe, is coming. Have they set a date? Isn't it the September thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'd like to read on is, because so many people are saying that, maybe it isn't quite the slam dunk that Trump thinks it is. Maybe there's still things that he's going to be found guilty on, or he's going to be found, he's not getting immunity for. What I'd like to read on is, how is this changing the landscape right now until, say, October, as far as charging Trump and cases going forward with this new ruling by SCOTUS? Because they literally just they blew up the law books. They just changed the law.
Colleen,
Well, I believe that
you're just a hair loud. If you can tweak it down just a little bit on the volume.
Oh, I'll just pull back. How's that? Is that better?
You're still pretty loud, but yeah, that's better.
Okay. I was talking really loud because I didn't think you could hear me. So
no, we can hear you now. Go. You can calm it down.
It's my phone. I don't know. It doesn't have a separate microphone. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll just put up with it. But no, you're fine. We can hear you good. That's more important than not being able to hear you. Okay. So Shari,
what was the question again? Val,
so how do we think that this ruling by the Supreme Court about the immunity, how do we think this is really going to affect the court cases that potentially could move forward between now and October against Trump? How will it affect it? How can it affect it? Is it relevant, not relevant? how is the SCOTUS decision going to affect these cases?
Well, I think that part of what you're going to see is a lot of people trying to stop what the Supreme Court has done. However, I don't think they're going to make it. It's certainly not going to make it before the election. Also, not on so much a psychic level, but Jack Smith has vowed to, regardless of what happens in November, win or lose, he is still, let's say that Trump won, he is still going to pursue everything between November 5th and January 20th. He's not stopping just because there was an election. So you might think about that when you're doing your readings with this.
Well, no, that's a separate question. I'd like to do that as a separate question because Jack, I think, deserves a whole lot of attention.
Mhm.
I just want to think about the Chutkin case, the Mar-a-Lago case, and Alvin Bragg's sentencing on his case.
So, like with these cases going forward, they're on the pause right now, looking at it like you said, Colleen. They have to look. Judge Chutkin has to evaluate what is not a part of the immunity, the presidential immunity, and here they're ferreting everything out. These are the rules. They're checking everything. They're going to look at it all. They feel a bit of restriction from it, obviously. But you know what? The cycles of change are rolling ahead. Everything happens as it's meant to go forward. It will go forward. Change is afoot. It is going to happen. And here is the star of hope and the world. We are going to have some of this go through and get, let's just say, justice served.
Cool.
Okay.
What do you have,
Well, I
Shari?
pulled the Queen of Cups, so we're looking there at some intuitiveness. People are tuning into what's going on. They're finally starting to wake up a little bit. Followed by the Ace of Cups, which is more of that awakening, more of the spiritual awakening. I think people are really going to start, I would say probably within the next couple of months, they're going to really start paying attention to what's going on. Most people have checked out for the last 3 years and they're not paying any attention at all. And the last thing I got was the Seven of Pentacles. So there you've got, you've got growth, you've got good results, a lot of patience. I think that with everything that's coming from the cups, in the end, they're going to win out. The Democrats are going to win out on it. And I think it was Mershon, right? Is that the judge we were reading on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to come out ahead in this because he's going to be able to prove his point that that everything that Trump has done up to this date has done nothing but to tear down the court, thumb his nose at the rules, sick his minions on everybody from the jurors to the folks giving testimony to family members to the court clerks. And because Mershon had told him, do what you want to me. I'm cool with it, but everybody else is off limits. And he hasn't stopped. And if he's not saying it, he's getting his other people to say it. I'm waiting to see if they're going to start popping them for it. And we may see that happening after the election is over. And
you will see these other Democrats, or excuse me, these other Republicans that are backing up Trump in all this illegalities. Those people are going to be in trouble too, because what they have done is Trump has lied to all of us in order to try to get to be president. He's got all these other Republicans supporting him, acting as though this is the truth and this is valid, and it's not. And those people are going eventually to have to answer for that. Now, I'm just assuming that Trump doesn't get to be president. If Trump gets to be president, God help us all, because he can just wipe out everything. And, you know, and now the Supreme Court's given him that kind of grand power. So, and somebody, Valerie Woodford said on here, I know this is kind of changing the subject, but I was interested in this, said, why did Trump denounce the Project 2025 and how do they feel about him? When did he denounce the Project 2025? I didn't
heard that.
I hadn't heard that. So I
know,
of course, when it comes to Trump, if he opens his mouth, he's lying. I mean,
well, that's true. Yeah, he might have said
we
that.
all know that. So he very well could have felt like he was being backed in a corner about it and said, "Oh no, I have nothing to do with that."
Oh, and
I don't know anything about it. But
he's such an idiot. He probably misunderstood what they were even asking about, and just was like, I don't really know.
It says here, you know, I just saw it in the news only a few hours ago. Trump disavows knowing anything about Project 2025. His allies sweeping
of course he
plan
did.
to transform the government. What is the first thing we know about Trump?
He lies.
He lies.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he says is the opposite of what he says.
Exactly. Yep. Every single thing. And that applies to the debate as well. But, you know, that is perfect that he's denounced it, because now he sees how detrimental that's going to be towards him, because there's no way in hell that he has actually denounced it. He's just made that statement.
Of course he just made it. He doesn't want to lose the people who read the project and go, oh my God, it's the Handmaid's Tale or worse.
Exactly. And by the way, I just want to bring that up again. Please, everybody, if you don't know what that is, start reading about it, because it's what is happening right now, even with the Supreme Court. Trump has, or the Republicans in general, have control over the Supreme Court. This could not be more dangerous.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that in depth. I just want to finish up on this one question.
Okay.
The cards that I got about the cases up through October, I'm not getting what you guys are getting. I'm getting that the Republicans are going to do well. I mean, Trump's going to do well. He's going to basically skate. He's gonna, I'm seeing money is thrown at this. They're bullies. I got the 5 of Swords here. I got the Knight of Cups. There's a little secret going on. Then I got the Page of Cups. Immature behavior that works. They pull out something because they've got the Supreme Court on their side. They've got other judges on their side. And I get the star, but I'm thinking that's them kind of getting their way. So Trump and his backers are getting their way until October. But I did another throw for what's going on.
Wait a minute. You're saying that he's skating by on these criminal charges? Is that what you're talking about?
That either they're going to postpone the sentencing, or they're going to give down the sentence and say he doesn't have to start serving it till after the election and pending the results of the election or something. But it's something that Trump's going to be very happy about.
I can't deny you're right about that.
Yeah,
but I see the song was sung, the treadmill is happening, it's on its way, and here's the ending to it all.
Yeah.
But you're right, Colleen, if in fact, and they will, because he's in a campaign, they're going to commute a sentence, or whatever they say. They don't say commute, but they're going to postpone his sentencing until after the election. I totally agree with you on that, because they don't interfere with an election process.
And with the recent ruling by the court, Biden has every right to simply step out and say, I decree as an official act, and haul all these jackasses in. I mean, what's to stop him? The Supreme Court already said, well, he's got absolute immunity.
Nothing is going to stop them. They're going to do what they want to do with that Supreme Court decision. Yeah. They're going to start to move forward, but by doing that, they are showing their asses about Project 2025. And that's why I wanted to jump back in here, because this all comes together. Now, I did another 5 cards about what happens from the point of the election moving forward until there's a swearing in. And that, boy howdy, is that going to be an electric period of time. Quick moving, the Democrats are going to get their shit together. They're going to understand the seriousness and gravity of the moment, and they are going to take action. They're going to take big action, and they're going to grab back what we had before. Somehow they're going to grab things back. Now, it may have to wait until Biden's in office, but remember how last year we were all saying, I don't know, over the summer leading up to the election, I think quite a few people from Congress are going to have to leave. And since that time, something like 70 people have left, retired. They don't want to run because of Trump or whatever, or they just don't want the nonsense. And I think you've got more people who are going to be dragged out of Congress for one reason or another. Either they're voted out on November 5th, or prior to November 5th, they're, indicted or arrested or, carted off in handcuffs or something, a la, Robert Menendez. There's going to be a whole, not 25 people, but there's going to be a good number of people, both senators and congresspeople, who are removed, and most of them, not all maybe, but most of them are going to be of the Republican persuasion. And this is going to start tipping the balance in Congress, so that by the closer we get to the election, the more that those Republicans who are left, and we had a little bit of this a few months ago, where they started to feel like, uh-oh, we better not do this stuff. And then everything heated up about Project 25. And now Trump is denying that he's in there, but it's bad. And now Trump has lost a couple of cases. So I think what's going to be happening, I'm going to say this is going to start in October, that the Republicans are going to be a little weary, but the Democrats are just going to steam forward. They're just going to march forward. And I think they almost have the numbers now. They're so close to the numbers now that all it would take is like 4, 5, 6 Republicans to leave, couple in the Senate, couple in the Congress, for the power to shift. And
Yep.
for Hakeem Jeffries to be able to stand up and say, yeah, I have the gavel. And so that's, it may take from October to January 21st, 2025, but I do think they're going to be able to make some headway against what's going on with the Republicans. Now, can they overturn a SCOTUS decision? Probably not.
Well, no, they're trying to do that. They're starting that right now. And I don't know. I don't think that they can do that. I think the timing that you're talking about, I see the same exact thing, but into November. And then from November to January, Biden's still president. He's going to get reelected, but he's still president through all that. And I do see him just coming down on the Republicans. That's where all these other people start to get drawn in. In the meantime, Judge Cannon has probably been removed from the case. But those things aren't just going to drop because there was an election.
No. I pulled the 5 of Wands to start with. So we're looking at a lot of conflict here.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the Knave of Wands. And so you're talking about a lot of courage, a lot of passion, a lot of fresh ideas. They're going to be, the Democrats are going to be coming for it. You've got a lot of young blood in there they're not putting up with it this go round. AOC is already talking about dropping impeachment charges on the 6 SCOTUS members for lying to Congress for their hearings, and it ends with the King of Pentacles. So you're looking there at a lot of discipline. I think is going to come forth with this, and with the King of Pentacles, that's one of the things that marks is discipline. He's known as a very disciplinary king. This is going to have to be Biden. He's going to have to take on this mantle and become a disciplinarian, because if he doesn't, they're going to walk all over him.
And that's what they're doing now.
he needs it to do it now, but especially after the election, I think that he's going to step back further and further and let Kamala take the lead. And you know damn well she's going to be the disciplinarian. She's well known for that. That's why they can't stand her, because she doesn't put up with no shit.
Or maybe he uses Kamala as his attack dog
Yeah.
so that he can remain the benevolent ruler, right? That he
Right.
is.
Right.
And the negotiator, and Kamala can come out as the attack dog, which would fit with the scenario that we all see for Kamala, that she is somewhat disliked because she's so law and order. She's so about doing the right thing according to the law. Men really despise her because she's a woman doing that and doing it well. But maybe that kind of solidifies that image for her. And then once we're past January 20th, then they can rehabilitate her image, you know.
Yeah.
But he needs her right now he needs her to do those things, you know, to attack them. So
and it's the same when you hear people talking about, well, she hadn't done anything, she's just been hanging out. It's like, no, are you aware of just what all she has done? I think that's a second list that we need to propagate.
You
And
don't
out
think the
there
president
is not only all the
project
accomplishments
to
that
the
Biden
vice
and the
president.
administration has made, but we need to also make a list of all the things that Kamala Harris has done as vice president in
well,
an
it's probably on her
unprecedented
website.
way. She
Yeah.
has done things that no other vice president has done, as far as getting stuff done and being involved and being first in line, you know, on the front lines in the trenches, you know, so to speak.
Yeah.
She's been right there, and she hasn't been out running around tooting her horn about it. She's just been doing the job.
All
And
right,
that's why they're terrified of her.
Yeah. Let's go to Jack Smith, and then we'll go to Project 2025.
Okay.
So Jack Smith, now, what were you going to say, Shari?
We got a question about Jack that just came in.
Okay, I can't see the comments anymore because I'm on my phone. Will
all right.
Jack withdraw the case that kicks out Cannon, then refile a few months later, get a new judge? Maybe. I mean, I'm not so worried about Cannon. I'm more concerned about how is he going to refine his cases against Trump in light of the SCOTUS decision, but also, does he have some moves that we don't know about? Does he have some things that we don't know about that he can pull on this stuff? That's what I want to know. I want to know.
Oh, I bet he does.
On Jack.
I absolutely think he absolutely does. And he's just been sitting back and he's watching all this. And yeah, I don't think, you know, the Cannon thing is that's kind of that used to be a problem, but now it's like, okay, now we've got this other thing with the Supreme Court, and he's going to try to find workarounds within that rule that they came up with. He's going to try to find workarounds about what, you know, is it really the job of the president to take secret documents home? And then when they're asked to return those documents, is it really presidential and part of his job to lie about it and say that he's given them all their documents, and then they find out that they haven't? So those kind of things, Jack Smith is working on about, you know, how can he work it and work around this new thing that the Supreme Court came up with. He also has, you know, the insurrection. You know, it's going to be a big debate about it, because Trump can say, I was acting on what I believed, although he was totally wrong, and he'd been told he was wrong about the election, that it was not stolen. There was no fraudulent stuff. I think Jack Smith, for one thing, he's going to use those 60 plus court cases that occurred because of the voting problems that went, you know, all over the country, where everybody voted, you know, or took it to court. I think that he's going to be using that kind of stuff. He's also, he's just got a real, maybe Chutkin will be the one to kind of define this stuff, because they've all got to figure out, how do we pursue what we know is right and just against this new rule that says the goddamn Supreme Court, for them to say it's, if it was a job meant for him, how did they word that? Within his
official act.
Official acts doing or a personal act. And how do you separate those when the man is in the president's seat at the time?
Well, here's an example, and I agree with some of the talking head lawyers that said this. And just appreciate this. Trump on the phone saying, can you get me X amount of votes? Can you just get me? According to them, that is a campaign person's thing. That's not a presidential duty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a presidential act. So they got him square on the, so he would have to win to get out of that one. He'd have to win the presidency to get out of that one. Okay, so that one's done. It's murky with Jack because we don't know Jack's secrets, but I threw some cards and Jack does have plan B. Yeah, they threw some monkey wrenches in here. There's a little tower moment coming on and they feel a little bit tied up. They're grasping their recalibration of what they're going to do. They're going to have to wait and see what some of those rulings are on how they're going to look at what's there. But at the end of the day, Jack's going to put together a whole shiny new package that's going to work because Jack ain't no fool.
I love
Say it like that. He's no fool.
Well, right now you've got
And bottom of the deck, magician.
there you go. Well, you got them running around like a wild woman, thinking they got it and they're going to take care of it. Not a big deal. Supreme Court's got our back. Bloody, bloody, blah, right?
Yeah.
However, I got the Five of Pentacles as a clarifier for that. And so there you're talking about a lot of insecurity, a lot of struggle. They think they've got it made, but they're going to have to really dig in their heels to try to do what they think they can get away with doing. And then I pull the Moon. So while they're in the process of trying to do all of this, they're going to try to keep it under wraps because they don't want anybody looking at it too closely. Because if they start looking too closely, they're going to start picking it apart and saying, okay, excuse me, gentlemen, that's not allowed. That's not a presidential act. And I think Jack is going to be ready for that. I think he's lining up all his little soldiers in a row. And he's got them all ready to go. Because then I got the Knight of Pentacles. So from there, you're looking at somebody very practical, very reliable. That's Jack. He's lining up all those. Like I said, he's got all his little soldiers lined up, ready to go. Ready to march in there and start saying, boom, 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 boom. You're out. Let's go. Then I pull Fire. It's going to sweep through Congress like a wildfire, I think. It's going to burn their asses big time. And I end with the King of Wands. We're going to have Biden there as a visionary, as the leader, as the benevolent king in charge, so to speak, because Kamala is going to be over there lighting everybody's ass on fire. And she's not going to waste any time doing it. That's what I'm getting out of it.
While you were reading, I was just getting hit with waves of the American public not agreeing with the Supreme Court, even Republicans. I'm getting just waves of that.
Yeah, there's upset people about it.
There are some upset people. It doesn't matter what their party is. They know this is not a good thing and not a good sign. This isn't the three separate branches of the government and how it all works together. Checks and balances, and you have the Supreme Court with telling everyone that the president can do anything, even walk down the street and kill someone, basically, or put the SEAL team 9 or 10 on a case and have an enemy gone. Here's the thing. I can feel it. I can feel in all around the world, not just in the United States, people are looking at this and their feelings are, this is over the line. This is over the line, and they don't feel comfortable. It makes them feel like this Project 25 is a real thing that is scaring the crap out of them. And I believe the tide of feeling about this will go in our favor, in the favor of democracy. That's how I'm feeling just from having this feeling into this energy. It's big.
You know, Val, I got the same kind of feeling when she was reading that.
Yeah.
And it is the whole world. And it is, we are not just in a fight for a president. We are in a fight for democracy. And so you can either you can either go with authoritarian or you can go with democracy. And you're absolutely right that all the people in this country, regardless of party, is looking at this and saying, wait a minute. Now you want to upend, you upended the abortion thing. And now you're telling us that this president can do anything he wants? No. I mean, and nobody, and they keep saying that nobody is above the law. You can't just have one person that suddenly says, I don't care what the law is, I'm doing it my way. No, that is not going to work. So yes, I have said from the minute that thing came out with the Supreme Court that it will be overturned. However, it won't be overturned instantly. And I don't know if they can do anything with the court to kind of hang it up for a little bit. Like, okay, they said that, but now we're, that right, Colleen?
They put it on pause. Pause the.
Yeah, no, SCOTUS is the highest court in the land. There is no appeal. You appeal other lower courts when you go to SCOTUS. So in order to change this, they need to, first of all, change the configuration of the court. They need to get rid of some of those people or add a bunch of people who are much more moderate or left-leaning. And then they have to have another case come before them that looks at that issue and triggers something about a constitutional right, something about one of the constitutional amendments. And then they'll take the case and then they'll hear it again and then they'll overrule it. But there is no just turning it over.
Right.
That's a scary thing.
Putting it on pause. They can't put it on
No,
pause.
they're not putting, it's in effect now, or whatever date they put on in the papers, it's going into effect. What I see for Jack is that he has some agreements with certain people, and I'm going to guess that these are with certain people that he's indicting, that he's made some plea agreements with them, and that they're going to probably turn state's witness with him, and that he is going to have to be very, very careful in what he proposes to do, because he only has one chance.
Yeah.
If he screws it up, it's game over. So it's really important that Congress put these cases forward where they're going after the SCOTUS people, the justices. It's really important that they either get at least one of them to step down, or they are able to bring some kind of legal action, real legal action against them. That's really important. And that's what takes some time for Jack. So he's going to bide his time, but he's very happy that they're doing this. And he may even, I think he might think it's not appropriate to discuss with members of Congress, but he would have a meeting with them to discuss parameters and legal issues and things like that. He would have a meeting, but he wouldn't help them with their case. You're gonna see when Congress starts to do this action, you're not going to hear from Jack for a little while. He's going to recede into the background a bit, but then he's going to come out swinging. And when he comes out, he's going to take tremendous action. Mainly, he's going to focus on people who are taking dark money, because they are easy marks. That has nothing to do with the presidency. It has nothing to do with anything except for you're a crook. You've been bribed. You're taking bribes.
It's bribes.
Plain and simple. And then, you know, that those cases may go up to SCOTUS. And at that point, he's biting his fingernails. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, God, is this going to work or isn't this going to work? And because of what has happened with SCOTUS, because the balance will be ever so slightly changed. I mean, maybe Clarence will have a health event. Maybe Alito will, you know, have a day where he just doesn't feel like coming to court, you know, or whatever. But something's going to happen with those two, and something's going to happen with Roberts. So I don't know. I don't think all three of them are going to be gone, but things are going to shift. Things are going to happen because of the action with Congress. And then Jack's going to come out and say, okay, I know what I have to do now. He's going to plan about what he's going to do. He's going to step over that precipice and he's going to massacre them all. He's going to just he's going to send them all up the river.
And one of the things that Congress is going to have to make damn sure it does, especially once we get control of it all again, is pass laws, pass rules, whatever they want to call it, that SCOTUS can't be hearing and ruling on cases that aren't real cases. A lot of these cases that they've changed the laws on are hypothetical, made up crap that they put forward to get things done. It's not even a real case. There are no real defendants or prosecutors. It's all just a hypothetical.
Well, to do that, they have to replace Roberts, because Roberts has the final say about what cases they're going to take. It would be pretty hard to create a law that addressed that, because at some point you may need the courts to decide on hypotheticals. You may need that. So it depends on Roberts, and that's why Roberts is such a key player. But Alito, can Kristi Noem just take him out and shoot him in her dog pit? I mean,
for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. We don't.
Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm so sorry, YouTube.
We don't advocate violence on other people.
I don't advocate violence.
Well,
I think
we could always have Dick Cheney take him hunting for the weekend.
Yeah, Dick Cheney could take him to lunch. But I just think, you know, I don't wish anybody harm. I'm looking at that act as a mercy to the country.
Well, you know, Jack Smith right now is not looking particularly well. He's not, you know, all the media reports with him is stuff like, well, Jack lost this and Jack lost that. And I'm looking at that going, you know what? He's not looking at it like that. He's not feeling that. His office is not feeling like that. He's
letting them hang themselves along with the Congress
exactly. And right now, I mean, Trump is coming out. He's aiming towards Biden, Harris, and Jack Smith. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I could see why he'd be going after the president and the vice president, but he's throwing in Jack Smith over and over again, that he was, you know, that he should have never been assigned to this job in the first place. Jack's working on all of that.
Just jumped out of the deck as I was shuffling.
What does that mean?
Stabbed in the back.
So Jack Smith is playing a chess game. And so far,
and everybody else is playing checkers.
No, they're playing chess, but they think that they're really, really good. Jack is a chess master.
Yes.
They've done like 2 moves after their opening gambit. That's it. Jack is already extrapolated to move 43.
He already
sees the board. He sees the stupid crap that they're pulling. He sees the stuff about, like, Aileen Cannon. How transparent could she be to come up with the question of, was Jack Smith even appointed legally? Are you kidding me? I think they've been doing that for a century.
It's a time waster. It's a time waster and a time extender.
And then, you know, we hear this news about Aileen Cannon that when the case was assigned to her initially, that the head judge of that other court that's above her went to her and said, you shouldn't take this case. You're not experienced enough. And we already know that you have a leaning towards Trump because we already corrected you on 2 other decisions. You shouldn't take this case. Please step down. And she refused.
That's right.
I don't know about you. I don't think it's just in baseball, but 3rd time, you're out.
Yes, third
Yeah.
time you're out.
So
I vote
Exactly.
third time you're out.
all this stuff about Biden dropping out. And now Foxy Roxy said that she just saw the Pulse polls, 80% want Biden to drop out. Who the hell are those people in the polls? Who's
no,
the
The people that they're polling are Republican people
Uh,
that sit at home with a landline.
And
They're
Professor
not talking to
Alan
the
Lick
youth.
says, don't follow the polls. They aren't ever an indicator of who is going to be president.
No.
They're not even part of his keys of seeing who's going to be in. Polls do not matter. Don't even look at them.
You know what, Cole? I can't hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
hear
you
you.
Can't hear you.
I can't read lips either, but I see you talking, but I don't hear you.
I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry. I got a phone,
Oh, there we go.
got a phone call.
Oh, good. Your voice is back.
Not that it's
Okay,
too
so
far off, but KC had also asked, evidently Biden is doing an interview tonight on ABC,
Yeah.
is scheduled for an interview, and Casey's asking, is that going to help kind of calm the ruffled feathers
You know what? It doesn't
on
matter
the Democratic
what Biden,
side?
it doesn't matter what Biden says or does or how he says it. They are going to be on his case no matter what.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
nitpick about every single thing he does.
Yep.
If he wanders somewhere, if he looks the wrong direction, if he stumbles with his words, they are going to be on his case. So just accept that.
We need
That's
to
gonna
just
happen.
raise our eyes up to the prize at the end of November,
Exactly.
because
It's absolutely meaningless.
this is noise.
Just keep
Just
in mind
noise.
what Biden has done for us in 3.5 years. Biden saved us from a pandemic. Biden has brought the economy back up on his feet. Biden has done everything he can do for the American people. Trump has done nothing, and even Biden has helped with the Trump left with a huge deficit, and Biden has come up. Let me see if I can find that. It's like, oh boy, it's
Well, he's knocked like
There we go.
several $1 trillion off of it,
yeah, exactly.
off of the debt,
Yeah,
off of the debt that Trump caused.
with 3.8 trillion dollars in debt, and Biden has reduced that by 1.8 trillion. Even with all the trouble we're having, with all the the money that we've had to put out for COVID and all the losses during that, Biden still found a way to do that. So yes, we still have a big deficit, but just remember who created that in the first place: Trump. So
yeah,
keep that in mind every time you every time you hear that nonsense about, oh, Trump said something, or Biden said something that didn't make any sense, or Biden used the wrong name, or he referred to somebody else instead of whoever.
Well, and
It's
we
not-
also have to be prepared to fight back on what the press is saying, because they're getting paid to boost the other side. And that's obvious. That's been obvious for decades. But in the last 2 elections, it has been stark, ravingly obvious, because they've just been in the face about it. Flat out just lying on what they're reporting, or not reporting on things that would not boost the side that's paying them.
I just saw a report about that Biden came out and said, ho, 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 happy 4th of July. And so I watched the whole thing. He never said that. He never said that. And because they were trying to take that one line and act like, well, he's lost it. He doesn't, ho, 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 isn't that for Christmas? Not for
Yeah, and don't forget Trump ran against Obama when he was running against Biden. He ran. Don't forget all those gaffes that he made. But I
But
just
that's why they're doing it. You know, they're taking every single thing
Yeah.
that Trump gets called on by anybody and creating a whole repertoire of things to point at Biden. That's where they're getting their ideas. But this brings me to something that might be a little ticklish, and I know it's in the past, but first of all, do we think that Biden and him are going to actually go to a second debate in September?
Good
September.
question.
It's scheduled for September.
Again, right
If
at
it's
the time when
actually
they're going to have
scheduled,
the
I
sentencing.
would think
It's
that
just
they would go
crazy.
ahead and do it.
Everything.
Wait,
Debate.
everybody's talking at once. Talk at one time. Val, what were you saying?
I said if they've actually scheduled it, they'll go ahead and do it.
They have.
And
It's not. Yeah,
I'm
they've
getting a
scheduled it.
yes.
I'm
getting a
you
yes
want
from my brother.
everyone to get a chance to see things the way they really are, Biden, and really, showing Trump how he really is, and realizing that we'd be in really deep hot water if he was actually president, which is what those debates show people, is Trump's lunatic repertoire of lies that aren't real. They don't serve the people. They don't serve the country. It's just rhetoric. Who's the puppet? Who's the puppet?
I'll tell you something about the debate.
The guy going like this.
Yeah,
He's the puppet. Sorry, Cleo. Sorry. Go ahead, Cleo.
Although there is this thing, everybody's like, well, of course, Biden must have lost because he did so terrible. Well, Trump didn't win either. On the other hand, because I asked my guides when this started happening, because I thought Biden was going to do really well. And they said, he did it. I said, what the hell are you talking about? They said, just wait and see. The repercussions are going to come down from this particular debate, although it looks like horrible right now because everybody's picking on Biden, saying, oh, look what he just screwed up, instead of looking at what he's done. In the end, coming down, I would say, well, in the next couple of months, you're going to see where this whole thing with debate turns everybody around. When people saw Biden do that on the debate, they didn't say, oh, we don't want him. They said, oh, no. They began praying. They began trying to send him positive energy. And what happens the next day? He goes to wherever the hell he went.
North Carolina.
And he nailed it. He just nailed it.
And I just threw a reading cards rather that dovetails into what you're saying, Cleo. And I said, is Biden going to be the RNC nominee for president? The Lover's card. Absolutely, he's beloved. The Nine of Pentacles. Absolutely. He is absolutely it. And here he is defending his territory. Then I asked, will he be president? So here's a Tower moment, because they're going to fight it. They're going to fight it. The election will show something they don't want to hear, that Joe won. But here he is. Grandpa's got his grandkids. It's not his lap. 10 of Pentacles. Hello, this is the outcome.
Yeah.
So sure, this is going to be contested at the end of the day, the election, because they're not going to, the election deniers will be out. But the real truth is, Grandpa won.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking through new glasses so they can clearly see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're digging themselves a hole deeper and deeper and deeper to fall into.
Yeah.
All because they want to get in bed with the demon.
So brace yourself for the contesting that's going to happen.
Well, here's what I have to say about the stupid debate. I don't think it was a debate. That shit show that we saw last week, that was not a debate. That was Biden trying to do a debate and Trump just saying whatever the hell he wanted to say. So they didn't debate, in my mind. They didn't have a debate because Trump doesn't know how
never
to
answered
debate.
one question he was asked. He
No,
never
he never
one
answered
question.
anything. But what I'd like to know is, did somebody mess around with Biden's setup before the debate? He seemed sick. He looked pale, and he said he wasn't feeling great. He'd been back and forth to Europe twice in the last 2 weeks. That's enough to knock anybody out. Look what's happening to Mel.
Yeah.
His mic was turned down low.
Yeah.
And I was watching
His lighting
CNN.
was different.
His lighting was different. You could see it. Yeah, it wasn't flattering at all. And it seems like his earpiece was not turned on full because he didn't seem to be able to hear the questions. But Trump, oh my God, the whole time he had that smarmy smile on his face, and he was leaning on the podium and giving his profile to everybody. I mean,
And if he wasn't doing that, he was doing this.
Yeah.
You know,
and so with the second debate, will there be a second, or will there be a debate in September? I'm with Shari. I think there will be, but I think that there's going to be a lot stricter rules about how you handle things in the debate. I hope they have moderators that will either fact check or insist on someone answering the question. I got the sun, so it's going to show the truth for what it is in that debate. We got the 8 of Cups. Maybe somebody's going to get mad and walk off the stage. I would love it if Trump did that, if he just got pissed and walked off.
They were hoping for that this time. It didn't happen. Probably won't happen again.
Trump was like a pig in poop. He loved what was going on, and he was really happy. And by the way, I think it was Linda G that said at a certain point in time on the recording, you can hear him farting and pooping in his pants after he spoke. He's disgusting. So let me finish this up, and then you.
Turned up so high. They had his mic turned up so high.
So the other thing that I see is the King of Pentacles. Now that could be Trump, but I think in this instance, I think Biden is kind of turning into the King of Pentacles because he wants the country to have such strong economic growth. And he feels so strongly that he has to do all these things for the country. So I think that this is Biden feeling really good. And the final outcome is the Ace of Cups. Now, even if this doesn't mean that the debate is really happy, it does mean happy for Democrats, because I think Democrats are represented by cups. So I think this is like nail in the coffin for tea and a big yahoo for the Democrats and all you independent voters who are also going to vote for Joe Biden.
Oh, and that's it's the people, it's the voters. You're not hearing from them, but I can feel that. I've been feeling this for months and months, that they are just, they're like waking up. They're like, and the debate did it for them. And that's what I'm saying, why this debate was a blessing in disguise, because it's a wake-up call. These people they want to save the democracy. They do not.
But you haven't heard that the fundraising for Biden has just been pouring in. The support for Biden has just been pouring in. It didn't hurt him at all. It was you are right. It's a blessing, but even immediately after the debate, we didn't even have to wait 24 hours. The phones were ringing, the emails were coming, the checks were coming, the Venmos, the PayPals, everything. People were donating like crazy after that debate because they were outraged about Mr. T. They were outraged. They wanted no part of it.
That is what
I pulled the Strength. Was the first card I pulled on that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Biden, very strong. Yeah. He's just going to get stronger. Followed by the 10 of Pentacles. So
I had that a little while ago too.
We're looking at a lot of stability here. He's
money, the donations.
The money, the donations, a very strong foundation he's building for himself, ending with the 10 of Cups. So
can't get better than that.
Success. Yeah. I was like, wow, really? I couldn't ask for better cards.
I just have to show you these deck of character cards because they're fun. But here is the debate, Trump style. He's the swamp going into the graveyard. And I say this because this is Trump with his poetic speech. And here's Joe just raking it in like the farmer. just doing his job. Hello,
Yep.
got the straw in his mouth. Shh, shh. It's all. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be the orator and do the great debate because this is all taken care of. It's
Yeah,
all
'cause he's-
going
Yeah.
to the graveyard.
He's planting the fields and or, planting the seeds and
Yes.
plowing the fields and just
Exactly.
he's looking so good that
Bottom of the deck, baby angel.
it's just
Well, who
so
was it
I
on
think-
CNN? I think it was Gavin Newsom that CNN interviewed the day after the
Yep.
election to find out, well, who do you think should replace Joe Biden? And he stopped them cold, said no. He says, Joe Biden's our president. He's running for president. He's going to be the president again. And I got his back 100%. And you better get
Yeah.
on board. Is basically
Yeah.
what he told them. And I was like, you go, Gavin.
And I
He
think
wouldn't-
I think we all need to visualize Biden getting George Conway as his debate prep guy, because George
Yes.
Conway, right? He knows that Trump stuff cold, and he's not angry like Michael Cohen. You know, he's just like, here's how you get even. He's a smart guy, really smart guy. And the stuff he was saying that Joe should do, I could see Joe doing it. I could see him doing it. I really
Yeah.
could, but you know, we'll have to see what happens with that. Well, we've been on for an hour, 20 minutes, ladies. It's been a joy. It's really been a joy. And Shari, I can't do the ending thing, so let's just all say our goodbyes. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat for all of your comments. That's been really, really great. Thank you to all of you lovely ladies for coming and helping me play PoliTarology. I really appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget to tune in to Cleo the Seer's channel on Sunday. We're going to be doing that. What do you want to call it, Cleo? Is it a political chat or what is it?
It is political, and it's my first live from my channel. So
What time?
it would be 3:00 Pacific time, 6:00 Eastern time. And
5 o'clock.
it's
That's
gonna be me
Sunday?
and Colleen, just kind
Sunday.
of on Sunday.
I'll be
Yeah.
late, but I'll be watching.
Great. That's
It'll be
great.
good.
And
All
we
right,
at
so-
one point we hit 360 something tonight.
Yay! Oh, that's great. That's really great. So Shari, if you click the video and then click end, it should work for you.
Which video am I clicking?
You go to brand and scroll down till you see the outro video.
The thank you. When it just says
Um,
thank you.
Well, they're
No.
figuring it out. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everybody that showed up today.
Oh wait, that's
Thanks
wait,
for all
wait.
the input.
You could
I
do
love
the
it.
intro again.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
I got
Thank
it.
you.
I got
Bye.
it. Okay.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you in 2 weeks.